Hey everyone, welcome to another video of Flight Simulator 2020. In today's video I'd like to demonstrate how to perform a takeoff using the A320 or Airbus A320. So I set my departure airport at Detroit Metropolitan Airport, that's Delta Tango Whiskey, that's DTW. And I have everything all set up for the takeoff roll. We're going to use flaps 2 configuration, the spoilers on. So this is what basically what every pilot goes through, what Airbus pilot does. Is we're just gonna advance the thrust to halfway, around 50%, just for the engine to start spooling. And then for this one, I'll be using a toga, so full thrust. So I'm gonna just advance the thrust a little bit so the engine can spool up. Then I'm gonna use full thrust for this. That's toga, takeoff, go around setting. So man toga, SRS runway, 5,000 north thrust blue. I'm gonna make a check that my side stick works. I'm gonna do a hard knot check. Usually put the side stick down, make sure that's working. So hard knots checked. And that number one, I take my hand off the thrust and then rotate at the diamond, the magenta diamond, and then rotate from there. The Airbus in the default Airbus is kind of wonky, so I'm trying to work my way around it. So once positive climb, I'm going to put gear up, and as for the FO to retract the flaps. So flaps 2 is going up, then flaps 1, and to clean configuration flaps. And I'm going to set the autopilot 1.
Airbus A320, you are leaving
right, so that's nav.
Change approved. Detroit Metro Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 frequency change.
Heading mode.
Detroit Metro
Heading,
Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 is 3 miles west with Quebec
climb
to
D10.
Airbus
Just
Alpha
right about there. So thrust climb.
Detroit Metro Tower.
Climb heading.
Runway 27 right. Altimeter 30.
You'll notice these white rectangular squares. I'll explain that when I get to that
left
portion
traffic
of the video.
runway 27 right. Airbus 320.
So that's pretty much basically how you would take off. Altitude. I'm just reading from what the square right there is saying. You have to, anything that pops up, you have to read out immediately. You have to read from the FMA. Yeah, you're gonna notice that the airspeed is way exceeded 250 knots. That's anything below 10,000 feet. You can't exceed 250 unless your aircraft specially operated work above that speed. But for the Airbus, it can pretty much handle 250. But I don't know why the default Airbus is kind of wonky. So here, this is a different point of view, but this time we're going to do it under the belly this time. So I'm already full thrust Mantoga. We'll roll down the runway. Always maintain center line with the rudders. And then do a hard knot check. And then V1 is release your hands from thrust. And you'll rotate, which I'm trying to do right now. The rotation for the default Airbus is kind of, let's see, isn't really that responsive. So you have a positive climb, gear up, and you're gonna notice the flaps will be retracted immediately because the airspeed is trending so fast that it's gonna hit overspeed. But in real aircraft, it really isn't that fast. It just takes time to trend upwards. So like I said, the default Airbus isn't really that 100% from the actual aircraft. And then now we have another one, but this time focused on the flaps part of the aircraft. So we're on a roll-up right now. Same application, Mantoga, you name it. Hard knot check. V1 release the thing, then you just rotate. And once the wheels come off and you have a positive indication of a climb, gear up. Retract the flaps once you're above the, let's see, there's these double lines that are yellow. See, now that's clean configuration flaps from there.
Detroit Metro Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320.
Now I'll show you what I'm talking about with the two line, yellow line, PFD. And also there's this number also that gives you an indication when you can retract and extend the flaps. this one's basically from straight from the EWD, the engine warning display screen. Usually, I think it's what they call ECAM. That's like the top part of the screen. So already advanced to full thrust. So you'll see an indication that TOGA, takeoff, go around. So I'm at 100. You'll see a number 2 here. That means I'm using flaps 2. So we're on the rollout. V1 rotate. And once you have a positive indication of the climb, gear up. And then I'll start retracting. You'll see it on the bottom right of it, right there. That's flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 2 to flaps 1, then flaps 1 to 0 flaps. So now we're in clean configuration.
You are leaving my airspace frequency change.
And earlier in the video, I would say
Detroit Metro Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 frequency change.
Let's see, the FMA told you to liver climb. That means you have to pull back on the thrust so you can set it to climb D10. That's what you see in the top right corner of the screen.
Squawk 6531 Airbus 320.
The CL means climb.
Airbus 320.
That's when all the thrust is in control of everything.
Detroit Metro 3,800 feet.
Now here is the part where basically everything's very important. Mantoga SRS runway, 5,000 over thrust boot. You have to read that when you're doing the takeoff transition. You'll see the speed trend, the yellow arrow going upwards. That means that you're accelerating, obviously. So at the 100 mark, you check, make sure everything's working, side stick works. And then at that number 1, you release your hand from the thrust. The magenta diamond, you rotate. The F, letter F, the green F letter means you can retract your flaps. And then you have an S letter, that's green also, you can retract the last remaining flap. That's pretty much your safe speed when you can retract. And you probably noticed that there was like a black and red color above it. That's an overspeed protection. That gives you a oral warning means. And then now the liver now the FMA tells you FMA. The FMA tells you liver climb, so we would pull back on power 2. We hit the climb D10.
Detroit Metro Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 frequency change. Detroit Metro Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 is 2 miles west with Quebec to land.
So right now I set the speed 250 knots. Select the speed though, because this aircraft is wonky once again. I have to do everything myself. Alt, star. Remember to read FMA.
Fly left traffic
so blue dime
runway
means I select the
Airbus
speed,
320.
not the computer. And then you're gonna notice on the right side of the PFD, the 11 mark, that means we're climbing at 1,100 feet per minute. The 5,000 number is our selected altitude. That's in blue. Let's see, those dots right there, those tells you what degrees of bank you're doing. Of course, we're doing 20 right now. Usually there's gives you protection envelope, but it's not in this aircraft, so it really isn't giving the exact thing that the Airbus has. But hopefully they get that adjusted, like I said, in future updates. And so that's pretty much how it works on the Airbus. Hopefully you find this helpful. And if you want more content on the Airbus A320, feel free to suggest it below the comment and I'll look into that. Hopefully you found this very informative, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey there, I think you just reached the end of the video. If you like this video and find it very informative and helpful, then please consider subscribing for more future videos.